What's going on, y'all? Back with another one, and today I want to look at a moment that unfolded between Charles Barkley and Draymond Green. And honestly, we all knew something like this was probably coming with some of the things Chuck has been saying about this generation and the way the game is moving. But this time, he was talking about the Golden State Warriors dynasty being over because the core is getting older. He basically said they had their run, and to be fair, it was one of the greatest stretches we've ever seen in National Basketball Association history. Draymond didn't take that too lightly though, and he fired back with something a lot of people are calling pretty disrespectful. So I'm gonna let y'all hear it for yourselves.
I was playing for a check. First time ever.
Well, it's over for the Warriors.
Oh, here you go.
I mean, no disrespect.
But disrespect is.
No disrespect.
Disrespect.
It ends for every old team. You have your run, you get old, y'all let Clay go. You and Steph on the backside of y'all careers. It just passed you by. Y'all had one of the greatest runs ever. If you think you're not in the playoffs, you're not gonna make it. You think you're gonna get healthier for next year, you're just gonna get older. That's no disrespect. You guys had one of the greatest runs of all time. If you want to compete, you're gonna have to leave there. If Steph wants to compete, he's gonna have to leave there. You're gonna have to make that decision.
What if they bring the right pieces in?
They can't bring the right pieces.
Why?
Because they don't have no cap space.
Okay.
They don't have any cap space.
Do you believe what he's talking over here?
Well, here's what I would say. We had to hug for a reason, right? Like we're not,
because it's over.
we're not oblivious.
Yeah.
So like, this could be the end. Like,
that's the thing that makes me laugh. Always ends. Sports are for young people. You hope to have a great long career, but sports, nobody wins when they're 37, 38.
But you said what you said. I want to hear if he believes what you're talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal is just to not look like you in the Houston Rockets uniform.
Yeah.
Is ultimately the goal for us. Like we don't want to.
What does that look like?
Did you see it?
I'm just asking.
I saw it. I mean, so, we're always going to try to compete. When you win championships, the goal will always be to try to reach that level. Can we get back to that level? Listen, to your point, Jimmy's going to miss a lot of next year. Moses is going to miss a lot of next year. That's $70 million. $75 million of a $160 million payroll. So it's going to be tough. But make no mistake about it, the goal will always be to compete at a championship standard level. Whether we win a championship or not, I think as you get older, you have to redefine what's success, right? Still the most sellouts in the NBA. Still the most national TV games in the NBA. And you just want to give yourself a chance. Success may not be for us at this point a championship, right? That's the way it goes. And so I think understanding what is success at this point is key for us, knowing and understanding that it may not be realistic to win a championship, but can we continue to build to that so that once we leave this organization, it's still in a great space of where they have that pedigree and they can try to build on that like the work out.
I was out there playing for a check. First time I ever said that. Hold up, this might really be it for the Warriors. There you go, listen to this. No disrespect, but that sounded like disrespect. No, seriously, no disrespect. It ends for every older team. You have your window, the years catch up, and y'all let Clay walk. You and Steph are on the back end of those careers now. It just feels like the league finally moved past you. And let's be real, y'all had one of the greatest runs we've ever watched. If you think otherwise, you're not looking at what's right in front of you because you're not even in the playoffs. And if you missed it now, what makes you think next year suddenly makes you healthier? You're only going to be older. That's not hate. You guys put together one of the greatest runs of all time, but if you still want to seriously compete, you may have to leave there. If Steph wants another real shot, he may have to leave too. At some point, you're going to have to make that call. What if they bring in the right pieces? They can't bring in the right pieces because there's no cap space. Okay, they don't have cap space. Do you believe that? Do you really believe what he's saying over there? Well, here's what I'll say. We hugged for a reason. Right, because we're not blind. Because it could be over. We know exactly what this is. Yeah, this absolutely could be the end. That's the part that always makes me laugh. It always ends. Listen, sports belong to young people. You hope to stretch it out and have a long career, but nobody is winning at 37 or 38. I heard what you said, I just didn't care whether he agreed with what you were saying. Yeah, I think the goal is just not to look like you did in that Houston Rockets jersey. Yeah, that's really the goal for us. We don't want that. What does that even look like? Did you see it? I'm just asking. I saw it. Listen, we're always going to compete. When you've won championships, the standard never changes. The whole point is always trying to climb back to that level. Can we get there again? And to your point, Jimmy is going to miss a big part of next season. Moses is going to miss a lot of next season too. That's around $70 million, $75 million out of roughly $160 million payroll. So yeah, it's going to be tough. But make no mistake, the goal will always be to compete at a championship level, whether we win one or not. I think when you get older, you have to redefine what success actually means. We still have the most sellouts in the NBA, still the most national TV games in the league, and you just want to give yourself a chance. Success for us right now may not mean a championship. That's just where it is. So understanding what success looks like at this point is important for us, knowing it may not be realistic to win it all. Can we still keep building toward that? That way, when we leave, this organization is still in a strong place. They still have that pedigree and something real to build from. Exactly. Now, before somebody sprints to the comments talking about Charles Barkley being on a super team in Houston, remember this. Back then, guys actually played through injuries. They didn't sit out.
By the time those guys got into their 30s, you could already see the decline starting to show. Most players were beginning to lose a step by then, especially once they hit their mid-30s. And that's exactly where he was when he got to the Rockets. So yeah, the numbers were still solid, but he was no longer the Phoenix Charles Barkley or the Sixers Charles Barkley at that stage. He's another one of those all-time greats who probably would have gotten a ring in his prime if not for Mike. Listen to this. Michael stopped a whole lot of people from lifting that trophy. Some of those Indiana teams were absolutely good enough. Kemp and Payton had a real shot that year. Stockton and Malone were definitely good enough to win the title. And I hear a lot of people downplaying that era while trying to crown the 73-9 Warriors as the greatest team ever. They were not. Hold up. LeBron exposed that team. They were very good, no doubt, but he showed they weren't untouchable. And honestly, a lot of teams from back in the day could absolutely beat them. So when I look at this, I think Draymond carries some of that with him. He sits back, hears what Chuck says about this era, and feels like he has to defend it. And I think that's where a lot of this energy comes from. I remember Draymond saying he felt like those Warriors could beat the Bulls. He was talking about that second three-peat Bulls team. They had no chance against that team, with KD or without him. They were not beating any of those Bulls teams, especially not those post-retirement Jordan teams during that final three-peat. They wouldn't stand a chance, even with KD. Girl, you could give them KD and AD and they still wouldn't win. They just were not beating those teams. And Draymond talks from a very high place, almost like he's being measured against Charles Barkley as a Hall of Fame power forward. But if we're talking standalone power forwards, Tim Duncan is number one. After that, a lot of people are going to look at Chuck and Karl Malone near the top, and Larry Bird too if you want to call him a power forward. Yeah, he played there, but to me, his game always looked more like a 3. That's why I say if you want to classify Larry Bird as a 4 or even a 5 because he was 6'10", I get it. But his skill set was so advanced that I always saw him more like a 3-4. So yeah, man, there's been a lot being said online tonight about what Draymond had to say. Like I said before, I think he believes he's speaking up for an era. They sit back and watch what Chuck says and how critical he is about load management, friendly super teams, and all of that. And Draymond, being a clutch guy, probably hears some of those conversations from a different angle. Maybe there are things LeBron didn't like that got talked about privately, and now Draymond steps up and says what he says. And I'm not even putting this on LeBron, but you know they talk privately about some of the things being said on these platforms. And when you hear that enough, you start feeling a certain way. That's the only reason to come at Chuck with that kind of energy. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.